Hey everyone, I'm Ann, the librarian from Washington County Free Library, and here's some of my amazing patrons. And today we are going to bring you a manga throwdown. Say hey to Sophie, Kat, and MJ. Now first, let me tell you just a little bit about manga and anime. This is a style of Japanese comic books and graphic novels. They are typically aimed as adults as well as children. It is an art form. It is a fusion of story plus artwork, and it evolved from the picture book styles of the 1950s. There was a famous Japanese artist named Osamu Tezuka who created a milestone manga, which was Tetsuwan Atom, or as we here in the United States know, Astro Boy. All traditional Japanese manga reads from right to left. This is the reverse of English. In the original manga style books, the action, the word bubbles, and the sound effects all are written in this same direction. Now you can say manga and anime, but they are not the same thing. Simply put, manga is the term given to Japanese comic books and graphic novels, and anime is the name given to Japanese animation. So how this is going to work is I am going to shout out a trope that is common theme in manga, and then my panel is going to discuss series of manga that have this theme in it. Panelists, are you ready?
Yeah.
Monster or ghost?
There's so many. I feel like I'm going to go more classic with Attack on Titan. Because I think that one is the second anime I ever watched, as well as the second manga I have ever read. And it's become very more iconic for the more modern anime, which I think is really cool. Plus, they're just really creepy.
Oh no, I agree. It's really cool. I just started reading the manga, and yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Would Promise Neverland fit in that category? Because there's a bunch of monsters, and they even meet monster main characters.
I mean, that would make sense.
Vampire Knight.
Ooh, that one was good.
See,
I didn't read it, but I watched it.
See, I read all of it. The beginning for me, I love it. It's great. The farther I got into it, the more I'm just like, it's not that it was creepy. I'm just like, what is going on?
It was very confusing.
Yeah, like the beginning, amazing. I loved it. But the farther I got, the more I'm like, wait.
Confused?
Yeah, I kept reading parts like, what is going on? I am so very confused.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. That's got a monster, right?
Yeah, I mean, first name
I have
of
a confession to make. I have never watched it. And
it's awesome.
It's not even on my list of things to watch. I feel so guilty because everyone says they love it. But then
it is so good, and we're having a movie in October. We're finally getting the movie. It wasn't delayed or anything. We're finally getting it. Yes.
Nice.
Does anybody want to say anything about what I know is a super popular series, which is Tokyo Ghoul or Tokyo Ghoul Re?
I love it so much. I say so. My problem is whenever I'm watching just horror in general, I'm just kind of like, eh. I'd say that's definitely one of the ones where I love that it showed from the considered kind of monsters in that when obviously both sides aren't that good. But, well, the cool thing is it's actually one of the ones I've been able to get some friends to watch where they really enjoy it because it's just told very well. 2 of us are wearing Tokyo Ghoul shirts. I have mine. Kat's wearing one of hers.
Oh, we're fans.
No, but plus the concept of it is cool. Like I could have never thought of it at all or even come up with that, and I just think it's amazing just how it was made. I love it so much.
I think it was pretty cool. I just began reading the manga, but I did finish the whole anime. And the problem that I have with the anime is that the fourth season and towards the end of the third season, they kind of killed it. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was really, I mean, it really disappointed me. I was expecting a pretty good climax to the story. The ending episode was okay, I guess. I don't know, but it really disappointed because the first couple seasons were like amazing, great animation. It was so good, but it really disappointed me in the fourth season. But yeah, I mean, like I think that was one of the first animes that my friend told me to watch, and I couldn't get myself to watch it because I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh boy, oh boy. So
oh boy.
yeah, it took me like 3 weeks to be able to rewatch it.
And I will say, some people get this. I think all of you have seen it. Let's Go Home. One of the saddest. I gave everyone there just pain. I won't give any context on it. If you watched the show or you read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tears. I was not ready, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yes, there were moments like that I was just like, no, no. Can't handle that.
Plus,
I was really sad at that.
All of them.
I want to go back and just say regarding Attack on Titan, we actually have 2 Attack on Titan novels that are written in English style with just words and not pictures. So if you wanted to, do manga and then also see what that would look like just written in regular American form, I guess, or English form, we have both of those. Slice of life. Take it away, Sophie.
I go with Cells at Work, which, again, I didn't think it would be good, but as soon as I started reading it, I loved it. That's also because I'm a huge science nerd, so.
Cells at Work, wouldn't that be more scientific? But
it's actually the way it's made is actually more slice of life. It's a weird mix. I've noticed a lot of them. They're always, when it comes to slice of life, there's only a couple that are just slice of life, but they're normally mixed in with some sort of other genre, normally romance, but I really like the take on this one, where it's kind of like the life of the cells inside your body, how they live, and it's kind of their little slice of life, which I think is just really cool.
Or in Host Club, maybe for Slice of Life.
That was on my list.
I would have to say A Silent Voice. That one was pretty good because like
so
it
much.
really it really did bring you into depth about like what it's like to know someone who's deaf, and it like I feel like it gave a lot of appreciation to those kind of people.
And that Silent Voice is one of the new manga series at Washington County Free Library that anybody can check out and read. School days. Tell me about manga series that have their main characters in school.
The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It is hilarious. He has superpowers, but he's so used to them. And everyone else around him doesn't even notice. It's just him going through life with that, and how he thinks it's really boring and how he hates it, and just dealing with that. I think it's one of the earlier ones I watched, but I found it hilarious because they took also tropes of people you find in classrooms, but like instead of being like this person's a jock or this person's like preppy, it's like elevated to like 1,000%, and it just exaggerated, and it's just so fun to watch.
There's a manga at the library that's called My Little Monster, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I've read that. There's also a manga called Orange. I don't know if we have that.
I cried so much while reading that.
Yeah.
It is an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. It is so good, but it's not for the faint of heart whatsoever.
Maid-sama.
I was just
that one's that one's pretty good. I mean, like it's a cute romance. It's not a lot of romance in it, but I mean, like it's mild romance. It's really cute.
What about From Me to You, or better known as Kimi ni Toroki? I can't pronounce it, but it's called From Me to You. I'm pretty sure it's about this one girl who does not talk that much in school and is rather seen as creepy from others. But she's a very kind person and makes some really good friends. I've watched the anime and I've read the manga. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I've noticed that there's a lot of manga that happens underwater, like Children of the Sea, something with whales, mermaids. Have you guys ever read any of the
I've read, I think, Children of the Sea. I think I remember liking it 'cause I just found the art style was very pretty is the best way I can put it. It was very interesting.
My first anime
go ahead.
when I was a kid, it was Ponyo, and
Yes.
it was just a minor summary. It's a girl who's a fish princess, and she wants to be a human. So I highly recommend that one. That's a really good one. For me, it's a classic because that was what got me into anime. So, yeah.
How about for our next topic, magical girls?
Oh.
I only know one, and that's Sailor Moon. I even have a little music box that I got at a Comic-Con.
Oh, I have one.
Oh my god. No, but that is the only magical girl anime I have ever read or seen. We have the same one.
No, Madoka Magica, I don't think has an anime. I mean, manga.
It's called Another, and one of the main characters, she has like she has magical powers, and it's pretty cool. It's sort of like a horror kind of themed anime, but it's pretty awesome with her. She makes it very interesting.
Sailor Moon is so popular in both manga and anime form, and we did add
iconic.
Yeah, we did add to our Sailor Moon collection just recently, earlier in 2020. Are there good like light romance or enemy to friend romance in manga series?
Snow White with the red hair. That one's a really cute one.
It's called Nisekoi, I think. Nisekoi.
Yes, that's the one I was talking about.
I only got like 3 or 4 books in, and I could not. I forget which one it was that I could not find, and I got really mad, cause I enjoy some romance. It's hard for me to get into them unless they're like part of a bigger story. But that's one of the ones that I definitely was able to get in and be like, yes, I love this.
That's what I told you earlier I saw as a Romeo Juliet reboot, that the kids were in high school, they're all in the play, they're sort of enemies becoming others. Yes.
I started swimming because of Iwatobi Swim Club. I'm not even joking, but the reason for it was because I'm like, wait, so it's actually like you actually get competitive while swimming. It's not just, but like I started watching it and I'm like, dude, this is like there'll be some like competition. Yes, I'm excited. And then I'm like, you know what? Well, it's either the summer I started swimming and I watched it after, or I started because I watched it. I don't remember, but I rather play sports than watch them. But Eye Shield 21, I loved it so much. I'm not finished it yet, but basically it's about football, but it's again, I love how in sports animes they tend to like exaggerate the skill levels, which makes it kind of more high stakes and it makes it more interesting. Which plus there's some comedy into it, but it's just I'm like I don't even like football, but I'm on like book 25 or something because it's just such a good read. Haikyuu also
Yeah.
is amazing because that's actually Haikyuu is one it's volleyball, and I've have friends who they don't watch anime at all, but they love that because they play volleyball, and they're like, yes.
If we're talking sports, wouldn't dance technically be a sport?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
consider it one.
I know there's a few dance mangas out there.
Prince of Tennis, I love that. I had gotten it so I could read it over like a vacation, I think last summer. And I'm like, this is gonna be like, who would have ever thought they'd have one for tennis? That's not gonna be good. And then I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of invested here. There's also one, I don't know if it has a book, but it's for baseball. It's called Big Wind Up, which I've seen a couple of episodes. Don't know if it has a book or anything, but I've watched that and it's very good.
Or Yuri on Ice would be a
Yeah.
sports one.
Yeah, technically that is one, and it's amazing. And one of the only romances that I actually watched and enjoyed.
Yeah.
Any of the fighting ones, I love, like Baki, which is it's more boxing, fighting. Kenganashra, I think that's how you pronounce it. That one's on Netflix. I think, yeah, that one has a manga. Also, fighting. I love it so much. There's a lot of oh gosh, I really do watch a lot of sports ones.
If a friend were joining our conversation and had never read a manga series, what manga series would you recommend for a first-time reader?
Oh,
I definitely more the classic ones, the ones that they have popular tropes in general. Because I know one that a couple of friends who don't even watch anime in general enjoy, such as Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's amazing. But another one, two others that I found I've been able to get friends into. One Punch Man, just because it's funny and a lot of people love the comedy of it. Also, Death Note. That is actually one where I would completely suggest reading.
a few animes that I would suggest to new readers: Jellyfish Princess, or was it Princess Jellyfish? I can't remember which word first. But this is a decent manga about how a girl who does not go outside that much and is very antisocial, and she lives with a few other girls. And then her life starts to change as she designs clothing and stuff based off of jellyfish. I think another read, like old anime are really not anime, any anime or any old manga is good for any new readers, such as Ranma 1/2, or maybe Fuji Yugi as a half up there. So it depends on the person itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would recommend this one for like, I don't know, probably around 14 and up. My Hero Academia. That's a really good one, especially if you're a Marvel fan. That kind of sort of influences you, and so me being a Marvel fan, I've been a huge Marvel fan since I was a kid, and when I saw this manga and anime, I was like, this is like the Japanese version of Marvel. And I thought it was pretty cool because, I mean, it's superheroes, manga, anime style. It was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. I also would recommend maybe Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer would probably be a really good one, because my friend recommended me to watch the anime. I haven't read the manga yet, but it's supposed to be really good. And I highly recommend those two. Those are pretty good.
Ooh, I have another one. Cardcaptor Sakura. It's really good and it's old too. So probably best to go. And it's very preteen to, it's pretty preteen friendly.
In general, I'd say a lot of comedies. Because I like, if it, normally that's what I go to, even though I tend to watch like horror and thrillers more. I feel like it's slice of life and comedy for, or even certain more basic fantasy. Try to get them into something that's a lot less crazy, like a lot of them, like a lot of them are. But
Yeah. I mean, if you're a child, you probably don't want to go into mangas such as Tokyo Ghoul or Hellsing Ultimate or Hellsing.
that would be a fun time.
Oh, it would. It's ironic too, because I watched Hellsing and read the manga like 6th grade. I think if you're going to start reading at a young age, I think you should read more of, like you said, slice of life, because it's going to teach you how to grow up.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of manga, a lot of Japanese writers, they like to emphasize death, and I don't mean it as like a bad thing. I mean it like it's a really good thing, because a lot of people do not like, they don't learn how tough it is to like get through life without experiencing death. And so if you're like a little kid and like someone you know dies, like it hits you hard. But people who have not gone through that, they don't understand. And that's what I like about the Japanese, because they really portray that a lot in their manga and anime, and it's not a subject they like to sugarcoat. They like to emphasize.
Yeah, it's such a touchy subject.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
it's like it's an actual topic that they like to go into and like educate people about it, and that's I mean, it's not fun. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like one of those things in life where you have to accept and you just have to move on.
It makes me think that one of my patrons that I was talking to about manga just said to me that she loved it because it was these words and these pictures, and when you looked at the characters' faces, you almost sometimes didn't even need to see the words. You could make the connection with what was going on by the images on the page. And that always stayed with me. Well, listen, we are getting now to the end of our time together. And I promised you guys a few minutes for you to talk about your favorite, which, if you look right past over Kat's shoulder, you see what they love. So tell everyone a little bit about Jojo.
Oh,
Jojo is a roller coaster. It is. The entire series would not have existed if it didn't rain that one day. Because it starts off, the reason everything it just gets kicked off is because it starts taking place in like Britain near the 1800s. They're riding in a carriage, storm, go down the hill. So what happens is people come along, they try and steal their stuff because the people are rich. Turns out they're not dead, but he thinks that people saved him. And then that involves he saves, but he's just a good person in general. I wish I could try to explain.
I can try to explain it.
Please.
Okay, so you left off at the carriage part.
Yeah.
We meet the Brando family, which met the Joestar family. The Joestar family that crashed the carriage. George Joestar and Jonathan Joestar are the only ones alive. Jonathan's Joestar mother sadly passed away in the carriage crash. Dio's father and Dio's mother came and found them. Dio's father was not a good person. He tried to steal.
We hate him. We don't.
Yeah, he's not a good person. He tried to steal their stuff, but Jonathan's father thought he was doing him a kindness.
Well, I'm going to stop you there because we've got lots more happening today at Comic-Con, but I definitely want to thank you, Sophie and Kat and MJ. Do you have any last words? Any last great recommendations?
Maybe Black Butler. Highly recommend that one. Oh, it's pretty good.
So at Fletcher, we have an entire shelf of manga. We have anime, and of course, you can check things out virtually through Libby and Hoopla. And also, we have a book that you can look at that tells you a little bit about all the manga if you're not sure where to start. And I have lots of patrons that you can ask, and they will make recommendations. Hey, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed our Manga Throwdown. I hope you've got some book ideas for your next great read. Let's all say goodbye. And I'll see you soon at the library.
Bye-bye.
Bye.